the moment I'm regulated by the Act and the minority says, look, I want to set up a design institute. Well, I'm regulated by the Act. Moment they give me the status of a university, I will lose my right to establish. Therefore, I'll not be able to serve the community for which I'm putting in money, for which I've given land. And in most of these cases, Mullah, the land is given by the community itself. So, Mullah, there's a complete disjunct in the concept of establishment and the concept of recognition. Complete disjunct. Recognition is for the purposes of being part of the workforce of this country. Establishment is for the purpose of ensuring that people of your community can be part of the workforce of this country, are enabled to be part of the workforce of this country, are empowered to be part of the workforce of this country. It's a vehicle for empowerment, not a vehicle for destroying the very concept of setting up or establishing a minority institution. So assuming now it's not a minority institution, what will happen, Mullah? If it's not a minority institution, they will pack it with their own people. Not that they've done it, Mullah. I'm not saying, Mullah, that they are biased against us or that they will do it, but they have the right. They have to run it like any other institution of their choice. So they can have their own faculty, they can decide on how people are to be recruited, they can decide all that. I can't even choose the courses I want to study, Mullah. That has to be also cleared. So once I have established this fact, Mullah, then the question arises, what then, as I said, what are the indicia for establishment? And I just want to take your lordships to volume. Yeah, it's 4C. I guess. PDF 40, Mullah. Yes. PS 40, Aligarh Muslim University Bill. Volume 4A, PDF 40. Four C.
4C.
4C. What is it? It's 4C. Giving you what are you waiting for?
PDF 40. Huh, this is start.
Yes, sir, having after a careful study of the Indian political conditions, arrived at the conclusion that the backwardness of his community was due to their neglect of modern education, that selfless patriot Syed Ahmad organized a committee to divide means for the educational regeneration of Indian Muslims. This devoted band of Muslim workers held a series of meetings, the last of which took place on 15th April 1872, in which it was decided to establish a Mohammedan college, and on the 12th of May that year, a society called the Mussalman Anglo-Oriental College Fund Committee was started for collecting subscriptions for the realization of that end. The result of their patriotic activities was the establishment of a school, the opening ceremony of which took place in 1875 on the birthday of late Majesty Queen Victoria, 24th of May, the school classes being actually started on the 1st of June. His Excellency the Earl of Northbrook was then at the helm of the Indian government, demonstrated his generous interest in the welfare of that infant institution by subscribing a sum of 10,000 from his own pocket towards the fund. In 1876, high school classes were opened, and it goes on like that. That's the genesis. Now, let's kindly come to the bottom of page 41. The last 7 lines starting with the sentence, meanwhile. My lords have that. Meanwhile, the movement for the establishment of a Muslim university continued to gather strength. Resolutions in that behalf were carried at several meetings of All India Mohammedan Educational Conference, and finally, having ascertained informally that in addition to the existing valuable assets of the college, a large endowment fund would be required as a guarantee of its stability before government would agree to the establishment of a Muslim university. Exactly what the UGC does now. His Highness, the Aga Khan, took the lead and headed a deputation which early in the year 1911 visited the various Indian centers in order to collect the necessary endowment fund. Such was the generous response of the Muslim community throughout India. Flat within a few months, the deputation secured realization of promises for a necessary fund of 30 lakhs. And remember, Mullahs, that 30 lakhs became then the endowment when Mullahs, the government decided that, look, you can. Yes, under the 1920 Act. Now, Mullahs, none of this is discussed in Basha. None of this. On the 10th of June 1911, the Government of India communicated to the Secretary of State the desire of the Muslim community and recommended that sanction might be given to the establishment. Sorry, Mullahs. Mullahs, I don't stand here, Mullahs, for Aligarh Muslim University. Mullahs, I stand here for the diversity of the constitutional ethos of this country. And I plead to your lordships, don't allow that to be destroyed. There's no such thing as one size fits all, especially in the field of education. Mullahs, I mean, I have some idea as to how educational institutions are set up, Mullahs. I mean, they're not set up by a statute, just like that. Mullahs, somebody says, some representative says, Mullahs, I just give lordship the reality. Some representative says, I don't have any school in my area. You know, my people have to actually rush 25 kilometers. My girls have to go 25 kilometers to go to a school, or 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers. There are no teachers. We need a school here. And then Mullahs, representations are made to public representatives. Then the matter, resolutions are passed. Then Mullahs, the matter comes to the minister concerned. Then the minister looks at all this. The minister then says, look, let's find out whether at all it's feasible to have a school there or not. Then ultimately, Mullahs, a decision is taken. Then the file moves from the UDC to the LDC, to the director, to the joint secretary, to the additional secretary, to the secretary. Then a cabinet note is prepared. Then the cabinet note is circulated. Then discussion is with the finance ministry, who's going to finance it. This is how Mullahs institutions are set up, not by a statute. The statute is the end product of the establishment process, which starts on the ground. And this is that establishment process that I am, Mullahs, inviting my Lord's attention to. It is at the heart of establishment. The statute happens to be a vehicle for the purposes of recognizing the establishment. It is not the establishment itself. It can never be as a matter of law. My land, my money, my community, my desire, my infrastructure. But moment I get, say that, look, the statute recognizes it, I lose everything. I am nobody. And why is it an institution of national importance? Because there was no other university, minority university at that point in time. Needed help also. Non-Muslims also ultimately gave funds to it. We also stand there and defend it, Mullahs, because we stand for that ethos. Yeah, I know that. That's mentioned already. So,
in fact, this particular debate, the debate in the legislature,
yeah,
refers to the Banaras Hindu University
yeah,
as well.
yes,
And at page 42,
yes,
meanwhile, the Hindu leaders who too had their in turn approached the
Exactly.
government of India with a scheme for the establishment of a Hindu university at Banaras.
yes,
Guided by that practical spirit, which is one of their characteristics, accepted the conditions laid down by the Secretary of State, with the result that a bill for the establishment of the Banaras Hindu University was prepared, etc. Then they say, the legislation regarding the Banaras University was framed in consonance with that scheme of things. The bill, that is this AMU bill, is
Yeah.
in its essentials founded on the Banaras Hindu University Act,
Correct.
recognizing the all India character of the Banaras and Aligarh universities. The rules framed under the new Government of India Act have now proposed that these two universities should be a central subject, and the responsibility in connection therewith will thenceforth be rest on the shoulders of the Government of India.
Yes.